Ladies and gentlemen, it's 6 o'clock, and I'd like to call the July 1st, 2021 meeting of the Columbia County Planning Commission to order. If you'd stand with us, please. Commissioner Wilder will lead us in our invocation. Commissioner Caraway will lead us in the pledge.
How about with us? Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this. Bless us with, nourish our planet and make it grow. Thank you for the little cool weather that will come behind it. Actually, we thank you for all the many blessings on us in this community, our state, and in our great country. As you look over us tonight and guide us, let us give us accomplish our mission. Ask that everyone that has been come to the meeting tonight have a safe passage back home this evening. All these things in Jesus' name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, liberty and justice.
Thank you. Be seated. And if I could please take a moment to remind you to silence your cell phones while we are convened in this meeting. We do have all 5 commissioners tonight. I'd like to introduce Commissioner Mike Caraway. Commissioner Richardson, would you like to say any words, because he's your new appointee to District 3? He said he's making all the motions tonight, so we got him set up. But I'd like to welcome Mike. We've known each other for a while, and we look forward to you stepping in Rich Henderson's role, and I think you'll fit in very nicely and bring a different perspective to the board, which we're always looking for.
Thank you. I'll try to do a good job.
Great. Thank you very much. And I would also like to apologize to staff for missing the last meeting. I had a little shoulder surgery, and I thought I was going to be able to make it, but it was probably a good thing I didn't, and I appreciate Commissioner Dempsey for stepping up and chairing the meeting, and you gentlemen for assisting and making sure things ran smooth in my absence. And I appreciate it, and it's nice to have folks you can depend on besides staff, the fellow commissioners. It's truly an honor to serve with you. We do have all 5 commissioners present tonight. Gentlemen, you've also had a chance to review the minutes from the June 17th meeting. If there are no additions or amendments, I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion to approve carries 4-0. You'll need to abstain since you weren't here. We'll let you slide on that one. You're first.
Right.
Gentlemen, you've also had a chance to review the agenda for tonight's proceedings. If there are no additions or changes, I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion to approve the agenda as it's submitted passes 5-0. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to clarify that the Planning Commission is a recommending body to the Columbia County Board of Commissioners. Decisions made on rezoning and variance requests tonight will be forwarded to the Commissioners for final action on July 20th, 2021 in these chambers. If you wish to address the Board of Commissioners at their meeting, please see Ms. Kara Harden to request or to obtain a request to speak form. We're less formal in these proceedings. I see familiar faces out there, but some of you may not have ever been to a planning and zoning meeting before. In the public hearing portion or in the public comments section, if you have something you'd like to add to the conversation or for the record, raise your hand. We'll ask you to come up to the microphone, take 3 to 5 minutes to present the information you'd like us to consider. And that being said, we'll move straight into tonight's business. Ms. Mystery, we've got 2 items that are unfinished business. Would you like to take both these at the same time, or will they require a separate vote?
We'll do them together.
Okay.
The rezoning and a major revision for 561 and 571 Baker Place Road on 20.5 acres. And the current zoning is R2, M1, and S1. And the request is rezoning to S1 and revision to S1 for expansion of a church and associated uses. Here is the location of Baker Place Road. And the zoning map shows the S1 that was previously rezoned and the parcel to the north of that as well. The aerial of the property and the plat. And this is the proposal that you saw originally. So it was tabled at the last time for a meeting, and it was the staff and the applicant and the engineer had a meeting yesterday to discuss this proposed layout. The traffic department is working on a road connection that will go along this way, come out this way. So the applicant and the engineer is working on a revised plan, and the request is to table this to the August 5th meeting to give staff enough time to work with the applicant for a new plan.
All right, thank you, ma'am. This is we have reopened the public hearing for this particular rezoning, and is there anyone here that'd like to speak either for or against this particular rezoning? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and accept a motion to approve, deny, or to table until August 5th.
Both of them together?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to table till August 5th, files RZ 210601 Part 1, file RZ 2101 Part 2.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? So I do have one question. August 5th, a good date?
Yes, everybody who was at the meeting yesterday agreed that the traffic department will work with the engineer to get a plan for you to
You know,
look at.
don't like to try to table stuff more than the second time.
Yeah, and I think it was really a delay on the traffic department side because there was a lot of work to be done to kind of come up with a new plan.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor to table to August 5th? Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Mystery, we got under new business an architectural review for Storage Nest.
Yes, so this is the property on 5060 High Meadows Drive on 2.33 acres. Current zoning is S1 and the project is Storage Nest Storage Facility. The request is as a compliance of a rezoning condition. Here is the location and the zoning and a close-up of the aerial and the concept plan. And we did approve the minor revision to the S1 at the last Planning Commission meeting. And this is a follow-up for the architectural review. This is a current rendering of the facility. So the idea is to give it a professional look. Here is the elevations. They've got brick, stucco, metal panels and glazing. And then the other two sides as well. And here is the materials board and staff recommends approval.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions of staff? All right, this is not a public hearing, so I'll need a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the architectural review for Storage Nest at 560 High Meadow Drive.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Ms. Mystery, we'll stay with you for an architectural review for Popeyes.
Yes, so this is the property for 422 Lewiston Road on 3.215 acres. The current zoning is CC Community Commercial, and the project is a Popeyes restaurant, and the request is for a compliance with a rezoning condition. Here is the location of Lewiston and Autumn Trail, the zoning map, close-up of the aerial, and the approved plan of the building. These are some similar examples of Popeyes. It is a prototype building. Some of the materials are different for this facility. There's a mixture of brick, stucco, and cladding. I'll go back to the brick. The sample board that was given to us today, next slide. One more. Sorry, this is the sample board. This is a digital sample board. You saw the sample board in the pre-meeting with the what was received from the architects. The brick is shown here as a Nichiha panel, and staff has discussed that with the applicant and requested that they make that an actual brick sample. And so the recommendation is for approval with the following conditions. Brick sample is submitted on the material board and described as Nichiha fiber cement source received today, is not approved. The color of the brick is described as Alexandria buff or similar, is approved, and the applicant shall submit a full brick sample for the areas of the building identified as brick on the submitted elevations. Staff for final approval. Second part is the other samples noted on the digital materials board are approved.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, do you have any questions of staff? Seeing none, I'll need a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the architectural review with conditions for the Popeyes at 422 Lewiston Road.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Carries 5-0. Ms. Neal, temporary use authorization, tax map 39, parcel 033 Alpha.
Yes, sir. This is a request for temporary use authorization for 3 travel trailers at 6123 Gray Road on 3.53 acres, currently zoned RA, while they clean up and prepare the property to build a home or place a double wide. This shows the location of the site on Gray Road off of Louisville. This shows the zoning of the site completely surrounded by RA zoning as well. And this shows the aerial of the site. The applicants have been working with code enforcement regarding this property, and as you can see, there's an existing workshop and a trailer on the property that they are going to be removing. This shows the existing site, the way that they have it laid out now, and it shows you some of the stuff that they plan to remove that's marked in X's, and they plan to clear the area here. And it shows you the location of the trailer and the old woodshed. This is some of the photos that code enforcement has taken of the property that you could have seen on the site plan before. This kind of shows the items that were on that site plan. There's some more of the site photos. This shows the site plan that they plan to do during the renovations. They plan to place 3 travel trailers here with a porta potty. And on this side, they're going to have 3 storage sheds for their furniture, lawn equipment, and household items. And during the phase of the renovations, they plan to have both of those and this building back here removed. And so the site renovations are expected to be completed within the 1 year of the temporary use authorization. They've indicated that the construction placement of the permanent homes may be a year or so, depending on the finances afterwards. If approved, the authorization will expire in 1 year. At that time, they can come to you and request an extension. However, according to our code, they cannot extend it. It can't be extended past the 2-year mark. However, that also doesn't mean that they will get approved for that. It's not guaranteed they'll get approved for that 2nd year. The applicants have indicated to planning staff that they expect to move on the property as soon as possible. They've also indicated to code enforcement that they will not be everyday or weekend stays, rather coming and going on the weekends and holidays. Per the temporary use authorization, Planning Commission may approve the use of a mobile home or travel trailer to be placed on an individual lot for residential purposes when denial of such authorization would deprive the applicant of reasonable use of the land or may cause injuries to the applicant's physical well-being. Denial of 3 travel trailers is not going to injure them or create a hardship for them. So staff's recommending approval of 1 travel trailer to allow them time to either to live or temporarily stay on the property while they clean it up, to prepare for construction of the new home or placement of the permanent residence. The staff recommends disapproval of 3 travel trailers and approval of 1, with conditions from code enforcement that they provide receipts for dumping tipping fees once per month to code enforcement, ensuring legal disposal of the waste, and inspections will occur continuously and randomly throughout the term of the TUA approval.
Ms. Neal, could we go back to the site plan? Okay, I see the temporary light pole in the upper left. Is that the current hot light pole there, and they're gonna run power? Their intent is to run power over to the RVs from there?
Right, their intent is to use that light pole, however, they have to get proper hookups and everything for it as well.
You have any idea, I understand from in the pre-meeting that there is an existing septic system on the property. Do you have any idea where that's located on the property?
I don't. Code enforcement may have more insight to that, and the applicant, I believe that she's here as well.
Okay. Rhodes, would you mind coming up and helping us out here? Thank you, ma'am. Okay,
I don't, but I think the applicant back there.
okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add to staff's presentation?
No, sir. I think Ms. Camp can speak to any hardship if there is one. I said in the pre-meeting, we're going to be babysitting it for a while, and we know that. I think it's going to be easier to do because the applicants will be on site instead of away. They lived somewhere in, I want to say Aiken, but it was somewhere in South Carolina, which was probably an hour or better away. So they weren't here all the time then. I was unaware that they were planning on actually living on the property full time. I really thought it was a weekend venture come in on Friday, leave on Sunday kind of thing. If they're there, full-time though, it'd be cleaned up a lot quicker.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions of Ms. Rhodes? All right, thank you, ma'am. We may call you back up. This is not a public hearing, however, I would like the applicant to come forward. I think some of the commissioners have questions. If you'd give us your name and home address, please.
My name is Tina Camp and currently reside at 310 Grandy's Mill Road in Williston, South Carolina.
The letter we received from you stated that they were gonna live there permanently. Is that correct?
Well,
So it's not a temporary thing?
we plan to take the trailers there so that we can live on site because of the finances that it's costing me to do the renovations on the land, plus have the money to buy the double wide or either finance the building of the new home. Because the amount of money that I pay right now is extreme, and that would alleviate $2,300 a month.
So it would not be just a weekend thing?
No, we plan to be there so that we can, I've already got a roll-off container there, and some of it's cleared because, of course, you had to clear, because you saw the pictures, it's a mess. We would have to clear a spot to even put the roll-off container. Then we have to clear the spot to even put the travel trailers. But with me leaving my home, which I would need to do financially to be able to move forward quicker, and plus it's a little over an hour away from where we live now. Plus I have a full-time job, I own a business, and this would be very difficult.
You know, one of the issues that I've got is using a porta potty as your only method of waste disposal. Are you planning on tying those, you know, assuming you get approval for one or three, how would you tie into a septic system so we can
From not,
trouble with the health department?
from my knowledge, I've already called the health department, but unfortunately I got a recording that they were not in the office, so I have not been able to speak with an actual individual. But from what I understand of where my ex-husband's brother said the septic tank was, it is,
You can draw on that monitor if you want. You
it
actually,
is right somewhere there. But then when I looked at it, that was just a hole. I went around the trailer, and what I seen was right somewhere there, a little bit. It's not exactly where the light pole is actually a little bit further behind the trailer, and between the trailer and where that light pole sits, there is a top that sits over the septic tank. And I've already repaired the water pump with a new, whatever it's called. So it's ready to pump water, to hook to, for us to be able to have water.
But then you would have to dig lines from each one back all the way over to that tank if that's where it is.
Yes, sir, and the gentleman that was fixing the water pump for me told me exactly how we would have to have that done, and that he is actually able to do that. He said that he would run whatever he called that pipe from the water, and he would dig the trench, because this is temporary, but he would connect it properly, and he told me how he would do it. Actually, I got a video of him telling me how he was going to do it.
what kind of distance are we looking at, you know, over to the old mobile home site from where they're looking at? I can't get an idea of what kind of scale we're talking about here from the map.
I'm
Is it-
not exactly sure.
I think it's 100 feet, 1,000 feet?
It's
There's not a lot cleared there.
It's what's between, from where the water pump is, that building, the flattest land, there you go. The flattest land, you see that building, the old shed that's gonna be torn down, that's right here? Can you erase that after
Where
I
are the
touch it?
new, the campers you want to put?
The flattest part would be right in here.
That, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
There to right behind the mobile home.
Right here's the sewer right there behind it. And the water pump is right there too. So he said he would just come out and straight down and then come right behind those mobile homes, where the campers were. And he said that he could do some type of, I forgot how he said, to branch off to the 3 campers. To give us.
Like you got a
water.
structure between, was that an old house place?
That is,
200 feet,
1 and 200.
somewhere,
it's,
probably in the neighborhood of 125 to 200 feet.
he said that is supposed to be an old shop that they were working on, but through time and whatever storms, it is caved, the top is caved in, so we're gonna dismantle that and save what lumber that we can.
Gentlemen, do you all have any other questions? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Do I need to address the reason of the 3, why we need the 3?
If you'd like to go ahead and add that for the record, that's fine.
The children are ages 17, 15, and Cameron is about to be 11. I'm 57. My son is 36, no, he's 38, and he is getting married, and his fiance lives with him. The way the 5th wheel is set up, it only has 1 main bed, and then, it does have the couch that you can let out. But it's a 5th wheel. And the way my smaller camper is, it's set up with a full-size bed, and then it's got 2 bunk beds, which that is where the boys would sleep. And, of course, the 3rd would be for my son and his fiance to be on site. Because all of us cannot, I just can't, I can't live with 3 teenage boys in that amount of space. I have to have some personal space. And that's why I requested it, because of the bed space and then the amount of storage that I need to be able to move my things that we have and put in storage and really it looks horrible, but I think we could get it done fairly quickly. I know it's not gonna take me a year to get the property cleaned up at all. And, I definitely don't plan to live in a 5th wheel that long. So I've already reached out to mobile homes and making my choices on what we need to do there. So when we say looking at a year, like I said, looking at it now, it looks like a really big mess, but with a bulldozer, it's not going to take that long. And the roll-off container is already there. And I'm going to move forward as quickly as you guys will allow me. But I'm asking you to please.
So you're not gonna do
allow.
a hand pickup, you're gonna bring a dozer in and clear?
Oh, yeah,
So what would prevent
absolutely.
you from doing the cleanup
already-
before you come to us?
Sir?
What would prevent you from doing the cleanup before you come to us?
Well, the amount of time and space that I have to be over there, plus my lease is running up on my house, and I'm gonna have to have another.
Run the bulldozer? Are you gonna be running the bulldozer?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I had a hired,
Why are
I
you
had a
worried about being
person.
there if you're gonna hire somebody to do that?
Well,
Go to work, come back, and let it be done.
I would like to think that would happen, but sir, the man that I hired, he went one day and I haven't been able to reach him on the phone since. So I have checked into the amount it would cost to get a Bobcat. It's gonna cost me about $1,200 for 7 days, so that I could possibly do it myself. Because the gentleman has not returned my calls nor my text, and the only thing that he did was clear the spot for the roll-off container. So I don't know why I've not heard back.
Rhodes, one of the conditions that you and I discussed with it was that we have to have some kind of a receipt for legal waste disposal. What's involved there?
That's to ensure that all of the waste that you saw in the photographs are not or back 40 or somewhere else in Columbia County. Standard weight, it can go to the waste station. Any place you take it, even if it's going to give you some type of pay every quarterly, you pay per off box, you pay, like she's saying, like the Bobcat for 7 days.
What?
But
Can a
The comp-
Bobcat pick up a Suburban chassis or whatever that is there?
probably not.
No, I'll tell you not.
Probably
about-
not,
how
I
about-
would imagine, but
How do we dispose of old tires? Do they have to go over to Savannah Riverside, or can they go out to a landfill?
probably can't go.
They would, no, they cannot.
Title D
Well-
here,
well-
they do in Richmond County. The hauler would be responsible for that. So
Okay.
the waste stream from that location And when I say receipts, I mean, if she's paying advanced disposal, for example, or Augusta disposal, her receipts to pay them to haul that off properly is fine. We're not gonna follow that waste stream from a commercial company that, you know, we're licensed, so we know we're doing.
So the commercial company told me with the roll-off, they told me exactly what I could put into it. And I told them that I would personally, we're gonna move those tires off to the side for now. Just stack them up, get them all in one place. All of the old metal and all of the stuff, that's gonna be separate. So in this first phase of cleanup is gonna be all that garbage, and the limbs and the trees and the debris. So that's the first phase of it. Then the second phase, once we get that cleared and get sort of kind of set up and stable, then we'll start working on moving all of that rusted metal, that car, and simultaneously hope to be working on that building, dismantling it.
Timeline.
As quickly as I can get it done, but I do have to, like I hired this, well, we talked about the pricing, he gave me the pricing, he came out, he cleared that space for the roll-off container, and he told me that he was sort of kind of covered up, but that he would be back. Like I said, I gave him a few days, I called and texted, I still have not heard anything from him. So, I'm still at the mercy of other people and their schedules, but I'm definitely going to hit this running. I'm not going to be there and not be working on it. This is not me trying to just live out there without doing anything. I'm gonna be actively working on it.
We go back to
Weekly.
those pictures.
So all of the trash that you're seeing, all of that miscellaneous, that was the first goal, and clearing out the land to just clear it, because it's all grown up. That's gonna be the first container, and the lady said that, how they do that is they will take it and weigh it, and then they'll charge me, I think it was 45, I wanna say a ton, but it's in my email, I'm not quite sure exactly how they do it. They said now the metal, of course, would be higher, but I think I can call somebody that buys old junk cars and they can come haul that off.
Mr. Chairman. There's a lot of ifs in this in my mind. But if we did agree to this, then we're at your mercy. And you're telling us these things and telling us the time frame, we don't know that. And the sewage, for instance, has to be approved by the health department.
Yes, sir.
None of that's been done, and we don't even know that the septic tank will work. So there's a lot of ifs in this, and if we put 3 travel trailers, we normally don't allow but 1, so we're setting a precedent. So I see too many question marks in it for me and all of us.
All right, gentlemen, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, you're talking 3 adults and 3 teenage boys, so 6 folks is what you've got to house on this property. Now, your grandsons, that's your son who's getting married, that's his kids?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just curious, why we gotta all live all bunched up in a trailer on this one piece of land. Especially if he's getting married, I figured maybe they could find an apartment for a while till y'all get this thing cleaned up and get your dream home built out there.
Because it's pertaining to, money.
Gentlemen, any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. Staff have anything that we need to add? Ms. Rhodes, Neal? All right, this is not a public hearing, so gentlemen, we'll need a motion to approve, to take the staff recommendation for disapproval for 3 travel trailers, approval with conditions for the 1 travel trailer, to disapprove the request for 3, to approve the request for 3, to approve or disapprove the request for 3, or to table this. So at that point, I'll leave the floor open for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, on this temporary use authorization, because of all the things that we don't have any control over, and we could be taking a Pandora's box and making it worse, I make a motion to deny this until the lot's cleaned up and things are in much better shape.
Your second.
Second.
My question would be, should we allow this young lady to withdraw without prejudice to try to work with her without setting a precedent for her to work out some of the questions we've got and bring this back to us in the future? Or is that a way to, are we just kicking the can down the road here? And I'm just throwing that out for discussion right now because the motion's been made and seconded.
I think that in normal circumstances, we would have somebody clean it up before we let them do anything, number one. Number two, obviously, we would be setting a big precedent with three, and I'm not trying to be hard about this, but we're going about it all the wrong way because nothing's been done to this point to prove to us that everything's gonna be done like they say it's gonna be done.
Hang on just a minute, we got a motion on the floor. So again, would we be better off to allow staff to work with her and come up with a definite plan for us with more answers to the questions?
Including like some estimates from.
For a real timeline. I've, on all the years I've been on here, I've never had a request for three. Because if we vote for disapproval as the motion, if that passes, she can't do anything for 6 months, correct? Can't come back. Does that apply to a temporary use? Or is that just with rezonings?
You've never had a request for three. I don't think we've ever had a request to deny a TUA that we'd have to, I don't think that applies here. I think that
doesn't
applies
apply?
just to the rezoning.
Okay.
I'm
Sure on that?
almost, yeah, because it's in 90, and this is not.
Shouldn't apply.
It shouldn't
Okay.
apply.
Comes from 54,
Okay.
so it shouldn't.
Not under the same section,
I
doesn't
just-
fall under the
I
same
just want
rules.
to make sure we're not getting
Yeah.
open the trick bag here. All right, gentlemen, the motion's been made and seconded. All for denial, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion to deny passes 5-0. All right, Mr. Butler, massage operator's license for Jeremy Cully.
Under Sheriff's request by Jeremy Cully, DBA Muscle Anthropology, 1106 Ferries Lane, Suite A, on-premise massage. The applicant meets all the requirements of the ordinance, and staff recommends approval of their massage operator's license.
Not a public hearing. Gentlemen, do you have any questions, staff? I'll need a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the massage operator's license for Jeremy Cully, DBA Muscle Anthropology.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Approved carries 5-0. Ms. Neal, we have an information only file MW 21-07-01.
Yes, sir, this was a request for a minor waiver at 229 South Beverly Road on 0.54 acres, currently zone P1 professional, approved on June 24th. It shows the location of the site, the intersection of South Beverly and Colonial Road. It is the P1 zoning of the site. Aerial. And this is the perspective drawing of the building that they plan to put there, and this is the addition that's in question. And this shows the site plan. They were requesting to reduce the front setback from 125 feet from the center line of South Beverly Road to 115 feet from the center line for that canopy addition. As you can see, it's right here on the site plan. And staff approved this on June 24th.
All right, gentlemen, any questions? Thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Montgomery, we have 3 items here coming up and final plats. The first is final plat for Hawes Creek at Greenpoint.
Yes, sir. This is the final plat for the larger lot section of the Greenpoint planned unit development. This is for 17 lots on just over 100 acres. This is the location of the property on kind of the south side of Wrightsboro Road, just west of Pumpkin Center. And the final plat showing the 17 lots. The minimum lot size is 3.93 acres with an average lot size of almost 6 acres. The lots are serviced primarily by internal private roads, which have been paved. There are also several shared driveways along the Wrightsboro Road frontage that were approved prior to the PUD zoning. The required setbacks are 20 feet from the private roads, 10 feet from the side property lines, and 25 feet from the rear property lines. There is a 50-foot buffer provided around the project and a 50-foot buffer along Wrightsboro Road, which will require replanting. And staff is recommending approval of the final plat.
Not a public hearing. Gentlemen, do you have any questions of staff?
Are the roads gonna stay private?
So this internal road will stay private. This portion of the road will eventually tie into the Greenpoint PRD. So when that connection is made, this road will be upgraded to public road standards and become public right-of-way, and it will be the second entrance to the PRD portion of Greenpoint.
To that point,
Until that
urban
point,
gutter.
yeah. And until, this is actually that connection point, that bottom right photo is from the T, so you can see they haven't built the road all the way through yet, but eventually that will connect.
Questions? Gentlemen, I'll need a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the final plat for Halls Creek at Greenpoint.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Carries 5-0. All right, Ms. Montgomery, final plat for Quaker Knoll Phase 1.
Yes, sir, this is the first phase of Quaker Knoll, also located on Wrightsboro Road. This is the location of the property on the north side of Wrightsboro Road, just east of Baker Place, and this is the first phase of their project. And this section contains 33 single-family lots with a minimum lot size of 10,000 square feet and an average lot size of 16,566 square feet. Required setbacks are 110 feet from the center line of Wrightsboro Road and 55 feet from the center line of the internal roads. Side and rear setbacks are a minimum of 10 feet, and a 50-foot buffer is provided around the perimeter of the project. Sidewalks are provided on both sides of the roads, and 3.96 acres of open space is provided in this section. It's the existing site, and staff is recommending approval.
Gentlemen, any questions, staff? It is not a public hearing. I'll need a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the final plat for Quaker Knoll Phase 1.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Approved, carries 5-0. Ms. Montgomery, final plat for Canton Park 2.
Yes, sir. This is the final plat for Phase 2 of Canton Park off Riverwatch Parkway. It's 4.53 acre section of the project. This is the location towards the back of the site. And the final plat, this is a final plat for 34 townhouse residential lots. This includes an average lot size of 2,235 square feet. The front setback for all of the lots is 20 feet from the right-of-way, and a rear setback is also 20 feet to accommodate utility and drainage easements. There is 2.79 acres of open space that are to be dedicated to the HOA, and staff is recommending approval of the final plat.
Questions of staff? Motion to approve, deny, or to table. This is not a public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the final plat of Kenton Park Phase 2.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Approved, carries 5-0. Ms. Mystery, we've got a plan revision, file RZ 21-07-05, minor S1.
Yes, so this is a minor revision. The location is 6001 Washington Road on 15 acres. The current zoning is S1, and it's for the Pine Knoll Farm. The request is for additional structure for outdoor activities and related to the approved uses. This is a location plan, and the zoning map showing the S1 surrounding is RA. Close-up of the aerial that shows multiple buildings on the site. And the existing site photographs that show some of the buildings out there. Here is the plat. These are the approved site plan. And this is the location plan, and here you can see where the additional structure is going between the barn and the chapel. And it's a 50 by 30 open structure. Here's a future land use map. And staff is recommending approval for the request. None of the uses or hours of operation are impacted anyway. Staff recommends approval.
Not a public hearing. Gentlemen, do you have any questions of staff? Okay, Mr. Dempsey, I believe you need for the record to abstain from this vote as you have a
I'm going to
conflict.
abstain from it since I'm involved with it.
Does anyone have any questions for the record on the abstention? Okay, seeing none, I'll need, this is not a public hearing, I'll need a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve file RZ 210705, minor S1 revision, tax map parcel 36.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Carries 4-0 with one abstention. All right, we have two items in our public hearing section tonight. First, Mr. Butler, file RZ 21-07-01, conditional use for a daycare.
There's a request at 4234 Columbia Road. It's 0.46 acres, currently zoned P1 professional. Request conditional use for a daycare. Shows location of the property on the south side of Columbia Road. Also the current zoning, again, it's currently zoned P1, there's everything around it zoned R2. You have the one P1 next door, and that's one across the street is a funeral home. There's an aerial view of the site, also the existing site. This shows we'll be talking about this here in a moment. This is where the landscape strip will be. As of that date, it hadn't been installed yet. We'll be going to that in a minute. There's a plat of the property, pretty old plat, and the approved site plan. So what we're looking at tonight, in terms of the overall use, not really any issues with it. There are some, I guess we'll say, concerns regarding the number of parking spaces, hours of operation, and also the landscape strip. We'll kind of start with the hours of operation first. The property was rezoned back in 2014 was when it was actually done, with a number of conditions. One of those said they couldn't be open before 7 a.m. And the request did have on their addendum, did have an opening of 6:30 a.m. So there is a condition that states that won't be able to open until 7 a.m., just to kind of clarify that. And also the other conditions still apply to the property. In terms of the number of people on the site, they have stated in their addendum they're going to limit themselves to 33. There are regulations in the state, they could have much more than that. Again, the state looks at the state and the county looks at 35 square feet per child. This thing has, I think, well over 2,000 square feet of space available. So you can have much more than 33 inside of the building. And then also the outdoor side of it, you have 100 square feet per child. They're well over 6,000 square feet, so they could have a number of people there as well. One of the things that goes into a limitation on the number of kids there is how much parking is required. They currently have 6 parking spaces. With the number of kids that they've told us they're going to have, it would require 8 parking spaces. I believe they are working on adding that. We do have a condition that limits them to 33 children on the site. Lastly, if we can go to the next slide. This was approved, I believe, 2 or 3 months ago, probably 2 months ago, with the landscape strip that has not yet been installed. One of the conditions is that has to be installed before they're given their business license. In terms of future land use, we do have a new map. We do not have a nice fancy GIS map that we can use to overlay with our current one yet. We're in the process of getting that from our consultant. But again, this is in a new area. This is now a corridor, professional corridor for this area. This use is totally appropriate for that. So again, it fits the intent of the future land use map. As noted before, staff has recommended several conditions. Hours of operation limited per conditions of RZ 13-1003. All our conditions remain in place. Number of children enrolled in daycare will be limited to 33. And then also the last one is in regards to prior to the issuance of a business license, landscape strip will have to be planted or installed and inspected by the Columbia County landscape architect. That includes staff recommendation.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions of staff?
And did they indicate where they would put the additional parking spaces? Guess they need 2 more?
Yeah, so we had talked about putting it basically on this side over here.
Okay. And they've got
There's room to do that. So it's going to be tight no matter what you do. Done in this P1, it was going to be tight. That's all I'll say. So,
We're going to have a variance for a buffer.
no, they've already gotten the variance for the buffer. And this property here is zone P1 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What would be the process, more parking to up the census?
So they'd have to basically have a revised site plan to show the additional parking and go through plan review, be a really quick review, and that'd be it.
What's the difference in this one basically and the one that was at Blowing Wells Road?
Well,
This one doesn't have a street closed.
yeah, you don't have a street that's been closed. You don't have a street that's been closed. You have ample room outside that's, you know, very, already delineated in some respects. It will have to be delineated a little more. Parking is, again, somewhat of a concern, but there's an easy way to fix it. They've already said in their addendum, they're only gonna have 33. So it's one that, you know, there's a lot of things going for it. Again, not having a road next door that has questions about when it's closed is good, in this situation. It should be, the use itself should work there. Again, ample space on the site for those uses minus the parking side.
Driveway's wide enough to accommodate somebody trying to turn out, they just drop their kid off and they'd be able to get off Columbia Road in there. In other words, it's 2 cars wide.
I wouldn't say it is, but this did go through plan review.
Are there any provisions to prevent folks from parking on the shoulder and turning on their flashers on Columbia Road and running their kids in?
I mean, I don't know, actually, to be honest with you, on that one. Couldn't tell you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, is the applicant here? Would y'all like to come forward and give us additional information? Give us your name and home addresses. Mr. Frankie, we know you, but go ahead and do it for official
Billy
purposes.
Frankie, 7111 Grayson Drive, Graniteville, South Carolina, 29829. And of course, I'm working with Mr. Mark Allison. It's a very nice facility. I know y'all haven't been in it, but it's very impressive with a little building that's in the back, and it would work ideally. And Will had 6 or 7 questions he sent to us, and we addressed all those questions as well. And there is room. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a flunky who's been around a long time. And I don't know if putting the parking up against the building is the best way versus putting it the other way, because you could get more parking if you were to, run them on the other side of the little parking lot there. So there's room to get 8 parking places. I measured it myself, pulled it, and it all looks like it would fit. And we're gonna add a couple aprons to it too, so they can have room to back up to come out. And also gonna put an apron where the parking, I don't know if it's legal or illegal, but just a little apron where the driveway meets the parking pad. Is that okay to put that in, Will, without having to go back for a site plan review?
I would say probably not.
Really?
But it's okay to put it in.
I mean, just allow somebody to turn in instead of having a right angle, just to.
It needs to be on the site plan. That's what I'm telling you.
So we're trying to make it even better than it is, and I don't know if the landscape is complete. I haven't been by there in a week, but it's slated to be done, and certainly we have to have it before we can get the occupational permit.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to give us your name and home address and any additional information?
Hello, I'm Valerie Mitchell, 2080 Glen Falls in Grovetown. And I'm trying to just use this as a center because I've been looking for a while. I've been doing family child care in Columbia County since 2008. I also did when I lived in Hawaii from 2003. So I've been doing this for about 18 years. And my home daycare is quality rated. It's always full. So I've been looking for buildings, and I saw this location, and with it having that back building, it's, gives it a whole nother level where, you can have different classrooms. So I think it's gonna work out really good for a daycare, so.
With the 33 that you're recommending for approval, or limited to 33, is there any kind of a delineation on the age groups you would have, or?
Yes, I'm gonna be doing 1 through 5-year-olds only, so no infants, no school age, no transportation. Just trying to make it, simple, easy. That's how I've been doing it now, and it works really good, so.
Gentlemen, any questions?
You're apparently a very patient lady.
Yeah, they definitely will test you, but yeah, but I've been doing it a long time, and I've just, been working with kids pretty much my whole life, so it's just something that has been something I wanted to do for a while, is to move from my home to the center. Because, my daughter, she's actually 20, and I started doing it when she was 2, and I still have baby gates in my house, so, just kind of ready to have my house be my house, and then just offer, more care for other people that are in need, because there's definitely a need here, so.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Frankie?
I want to tell you, this lady, she has gone overboard with trying to make sure everything is right. I mean, I've made 8 or 10 trips out there with her. We met with the fire marshal, met with several contractors, everything to make sure it's right. And she's got a full understanding of what she's getting into. I wouldn't do it, but she knows what she's doing. So, I mean, I got a lot of confidence in her, whatever that's worth. Whether me saying it or not makes any difference, I don't know.
Yeah,
She's done her homework.
Yeah, you can look at all the reviews from all the state visits, everything is always compliant, so everybody's happy. I just want to, spread it out so I can get more, more care. So.
Gentlemen, any other questions? And what are the hours? What's your hours gonna be?
It was going to be 6:30 to 5:30, but if I have to change it, it's going to be 7 to 6 if I do have to change it to that.
You know, we've had a request, from what I understand, talking to several folks I know involved out at the Ford about 24-hour childcare. What's the process for that? Could this eventually evolve into something like that, or is that gonna have to be in commercial,
I mean, you'd have
commercial
to,
only?
you have to remove that, condition.
Right, but I'm just asking for future, would that be more of commercial use that we try to push that to as opposed to in a,
I mean, 24-hour and being next to residences would be a problem.
Not looking for that. Yeah.
understand?
I think 11 is enough, so.
All right, thank you, ma'am, appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here that'd like to speak either for or against this particular rezoning? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and accept a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve with conditions, file RZ 210701, conditional use for daycare at 4234 Columbia Road.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? To approve carries 5-0. Babysit away. Ms. Montgomery, file RZ 210702, conditional uses for a gym, a school of the arts, and a minor vehicle.
Jim, real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys mean to add conditions?
Say
I thought you
conditions?
said with conditions.
You did say with conditions?
Yeah, he said with conditions. No worries.
We can't hear over here sometimes.
I had some conditions.
Too quiet.
Sit up, speak out.
For you, sir.
All right, Ms. Montgomery, file RZ 210702.
Yes, sir, this is a request for multiple conditional uses for the property at 4107 Colburn Boulevard. This property is located at the end of Colburn Boulevard and is currently zoned M1 Light Industrial. Surrounding properties are a mix of industrial and heavy commercial uses, and then you have the Trade Center PUD, which includes a mix of industrial, professional, and commercial. This is the aerial of the site. There are two existing buildings on this property. One has a current active business license for Dish Network. The other, 4107, has a pending business license application for Hayden's Gym. The gym is primarily located in their main building on Evans to Locks Road, and over time they have expanded into the building we're looking at tonight, and also at one point into the building on the adjacent property, which already has a conditional use that was approved back in 2015. So the current request is for the conditional use for the School of the Arts, which would allow the existing gymnastics facility. School of the Arts is kind of an odd category. It includes martial arts facilities as well as gymnastics. So both of those uses are either present or have been present on this property. The previous tenant was a karate school, I believe. The gym similarly is a similar use to what's going on there now, so that covers kind of both aspects of the current business that is there. The third conditional use for the minor vehicle repair is at the request of the property owner. That is not a currently existing business on the property. He's just seeking to not have to come back through the conditional use process should one of the existing tenants move out. Minor vehicle repair includes audio and alarm installation, accessories, minor scratch repair, emissions testing, bed liners, glass repair, kind of minor vehicle repair. This is the plat of the site and the existing buildings. And to kind of give you an idea of what's around this property, we've had several other requests for conditional uses in this area. It is largely an industrial area, but we do have two churches, another gym, the other conditional use for the previous expansion of Hayden's, another School of the Arts down the road, and minor vehicle repair down the road. So these are certainly not unusual requests in this area. This property is within the Evanstown Center Activity Center on the future land use map, which is a mixed-use activity center intended for shops, restaurants, offices, civic uses, etc. The subject parcel is in an existing industrial area. However, there are multiple nearby properties that have similar conditional uses or similar civic type uses with the churches and such nearby as well. And the proposed uses do meet the intent of this activity center, and staff is recommending approval.
Okay, gentlemen, any questions of staff? Okay, this is a public hearing. Is the applicant here? Yes, sir. Would you like to come forward and give us any additional information? All right. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to speak either for or against this particular rezoning? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and accept a motion to approve, deny, or to table.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve RZ 210702, conditional uses for School of Arts, minor vehicle repair.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Approved carries 5-0. That's our last item for tonight. We have no text amendments or legal matters. Do we have any staff or commission comments? Again, I appreciate everybody covering for me in my absence last meeting. Vice Chair Dempsey, I'll need your signature on the minutes as you chaired the meeting. Do we have any public comments? Yes, sir. No worries. Seeing none, we'll need a motion for adjournment. Usually, why don't we let our new commission member make our motion for adjournment?
Make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? All in favor of adjournment? Motion carries 5-0 at 6:56 p.m. Next meeting is July 15th, 2021 at 6 p.m. in these chambers. Thank you for coming out.